Welcome to North American Insurance Services and Back Nine Insurance Services presentation about final expense life insurance we have available to you as North American agents. I'm Todd Marquardt. I'm your internal wholesaler here at Back Nine and also most of your brokerage directors. You would call me for any situations you might need assistance with for any life, annuity, long-term care, disability insurance, or you could call my partner, Claude Tao, who's also on the meeting. Today, we're going to review the final expense life insurances we have available to you. Final expense life insurance is a simplified issue product. It helps improve your placement ratio, and it's got expedited underwriting. Usually you will get a case approved within less than a week, sometimes quicker. And there we go. What is final expense life insurance? Final expense life insurance is a non-participating whole life insurance plan with face amounts from anywhere from $2,000 to $50,000. It's issued with a level death benefit or a graded death benefit, depending on your client's health. Level death benefit means your full face amount is available as a death benefit to your client's beneficiaries immediately. Graded death benefit plans for those who are less, not quite as healthy. Essentially, in the first 2 years, if your client passes away, the death benefit is a return of premium plus interest paid by the carrier, which is usually a 10% interest rate. So if you have a client who purchased one of these plans, let's say they're a type 1 diabetic with some severe health issues, and they were issued a graded death benefit, if they pass away in the first 2 years, let's say a year and a half, they paid $2,500 in premium, and they pass away, the beneficiary would receive $2,500 plus 10%, $250 as their death benefit. These plans are designed essentially primarily for funeral expenses, pay off, small debt, or possibly in some instances for those who are less affluent, leave some type of legacy to their heirs. These plans are usually issued with a simplified underwriting. What is simplified underwriting? That is, instead of going through the traditional order of medical records, do an exam, the policies are issued with electronic underwriting performed and based on the answers provided on the application to any health questions. As I said earlier, issue ages are from 18 to 85, but these plans are primarily designed for seniors and less affluent, less healthy individuals. Qualifying for final expense insurance, as I stated earlier, there's no exam ever needed, no medical records. The carriers use existing databases for electronic underwriting in conjunction with knockout questions in a phone interview with many carriers. Our plans on Quote and Apply do not require a phone interview, and I'll get to that later. The health questions, usually they're ask you your clients questions about maybe 30 or 40 major health issues. If they're on dialysis, diabetes, have they had cancer in the past 2 years? Are they awaiting any immediate test results, or have any procedures scheduled? If they have a surgery scheduled for a month later, policy won't be issued. Basic, simple health questions. The nice part about this is when you're sitting with your client and you want to see whether or not they qualify for these plans, you can review the application health questions with them. And that's the best way to pre-qualify someone. Ask them these health questions. They'll tell you exactly how they will be approved, assuming they're truthful on their application. The rates on these plans are determined by basically blending table rates, which are for substandard health, with preferred and standard rates to come up with a rate for qualifying for coverage. Typically, these plans have 6 table ratings built into them. Table ratings are additional ratings to the standard rate for people who have health conditions that are pretty serious. One table rate is worth 25% of the standard rate to the premium. So they take 150 percentage rating and they blend it with preferred and standard rates to come up with a rate for everybody. And they issue these plans at standard or tobacco or non-tobacco. Then they have the graded death benefit. As I said, there were people there who are less healthy. With a graded death benefit, essentially they go down to a table 12, blend it with preferred rates, and determine what the cost will be for the insurance. As I stated earlier, they use existing databases for electronic underwriting. Those databases are essentially, they have the MIB, which is Medical Information Bureau, which basically tracks every time your client goes see their doctor, been admitted to a hospital, had surgery, any of those instances. And prescription check. They check all the prescriptions your clients have. This helps weed out when a client has not been exactly forthcoming on the application, or they forgot that they have a health condition that they're being treated for. Big time, for instance, somebody's been prescribed a diabetic medication, they answer no to diabetes on the application, that application would be declined for not being more forward. As I said earlier, due to these less stringent underwriting, the fact that companies instantly have access to these databases, a decision is made on these applications as long as they're in good order within a week. For your preferred primary case, you can expect it to take a little longer because we have to get your contracting sorted in many instances. So give that 2 weeks to get approved, assuming your contracting goes smoothly. We have 2 final expense products available on Quote and Apply. Mutual of Omaha is a simplified issue final expense plan, and it's also the most competitive simplified issue final expense plan we have in 90% of your situations. That offers a face amount from $2,000. They've upped the max face amount to $50,000 earlier this year, and they offer that in a level and graded death benefit program. Mutual of Omaha product includes living benefits. That's chronic, critical, and terminal illness riders. That's included in the cost of this plan. Chronic illness is if somebody has a long-term care situation, they need assistance with a 2 out of 6 ADLs, or they have a cognitive impairment. Part of their death benefit is available to help pay for those expenses. Critical illness, if they get diagnosed with cancer, have a stroke or a heart attack while they're covered, they can access some of their death benefit to help pay for any expenses that incur from this. Terminal illness riders, very rarely are they actually exercised because the doctor of the client has to affirm that somebody's going to pass away within a year of being diagnosed with this condition in order for the benefit to pay out. But it is there available to your clients. They can get 75% of the death benefit up front. Perhaps maybe they just decide they want to go out, take a vacation before they go, or go to another country to help seek some kind of care that's not available here in the States. They would have some money to help cover for that. In addition to the Mutual of Omaha plan, we have the Gerber's Guaranteed Issue Graded Death Benefit Final Expense Plan, with issue ages from 50 to 80 and face amounts of 5,000 to 25,000. For this plan, there are no health questions. No, they cannot be declined for a health condition. It's guaranteed issue, first 2 years, graded death benefit. After that, they have the full face amount, full coverage. And Gerber is the most competitive guaranteed issue plan we have. We do have others available, not on quote and apply, and I will be getting to those in a minute. Too far. Oh, yeah. Sorry. We have other simplified issue final expense plans available at Back 9. These plans include Transamerica, which is usually the second most competitive product. We have Assurity, Foresters, Oxford, and United Home Life final expense plans with level and graded death benefits. You can get a life pay, a 1 pay, or a 10 pay option. Issue ages for these plans vary from 0 to age 85, from $1,000 to $50,000 face amount, 50,000 up to age 55, 40,000 to 65, 30,000 to 75, 25,000 to age 85 for level death benefits. Issue ages 18 to 80 with face amounts of 1,000 to 25,000 for graded. And available face amounts and issues vary by carrier. So you're going to want to request a quote from me for details. You can do this through our BOSS system. On the left-hand side, when you log in, you'll see quoting. When you click quoting, you'll be able to see request a quote. I highly suggest you do this, especially if you have a special circumstance. I would like to point out Foresters is another plan we have outside of quote and apply. Foresters offers some member benefits, and they also offer the chronic, critical, and terminal illness rider on their products. The member benefits are pretty interesting. They do have a competitive scholarship for grandchildren and children of insureds. They send their insureds out on, paid fraternal members benefits trips. Once you buy a Foresters policy, you automatically become a fraternal member of the Foresters. It's a very interesting product. They're very competitive with tobacco, female tobacco users. And, certain situations like type 2 diabetics, we would recommend you would want to go somewhere other than United of Omaha. And for that, you would want to reach out to me. We have graded, guaranteed issue final expense available outside of quote and apply. We have the Great Western Life and United Home Life. Great Western will issue down to age 40. United Home Life will issue down to age 45. They have face amounts of $1,000 to $25,000, which might be beneficial for somebody who can't afford the $5,000 with Gerber. All of these plans are also graded death benefit for 2 years. Death benefits equal to premiums paid plus interest if insured passes in the first 2 years. Very important your insured understands that. You don't want to sell a $25,000 death benefit, have their beneficiaries come to you in a year and a half after their parents have passed away and want to know why they're only receiving a couple $1,000s. Once again, you're going to want to reach out to me for a quote using the BOSS system. I can help you with this. Contact me if you have any questions about any special circumstances you need to talk about. Yes.
I got a question. Finally got on. Sorry I was late.
Yeah, no problem.
When the couple slides now you said available outside of quote and apply. I'm very familiar with quote and apply. What does that mean outside of the quote and apply?
Outside of quote and apply would mean you would either have to use a paper application or the carrier's online application process. And
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah, Great Western has an online application process, as does Foresters and Transamerica. When you reach out to me with a quote, Kevin, I would get the client, the agent contracted so they could take this application on their portal. And there are instances where we just have to go outside a quote and apply, and I'll get to those in a minute.
Okay.
Great. Not even a minute, Kevin. When do we want to submit a final expense plan outside of quote and apply? Type 2 diabetics diagnosed prior to age 50 are declined with United of Omaha. We have
Yes.
carriers that will offer them a level death benefit that are outside of quote and apply. Because of the special circumstances with quote and apply, a phone interview is not required. Being a primary. B, the agent's never required to see the individual in person to take the quote and apply application for United of Omaha. We received exceptions from United of Omaha for this. The other carriers are going to reach out and do a phone interview, talk to your client, make sure they are who they're stating they are on the application. So these carriers have different online application processes, but they are pretty quick. The Foresters is actually an app you can load onto your iPhone, your smartphone, take the application on the phone if you want to. You'll also want to reach out to me if you have somebody under the age of 45 who needs a final expense plan. Usually these people are not in great health. They're not exactly affluent. They cannot afford a larger face amount policy. And let's say they can only afford a $5,000 face amount, $2,000 face amount. Transamerica will write that plan. Transamerica will write plans for children on final expense. Makes them, makes them unique in the marketplace. Another reason you might want to do this, you might have a client who insists on getting more than $25,000 of death benefit, but they're uninsurable. We have guaranteed issue plans that will go, we can stack the guaranteed issue plans. Most any carrier is going to write for guaranteed issues 25,000, but you can write 25,000 with 3 carriers and write 3 separate policies.
I never even thought about that. That's actually a great point right there.
Yeah, that. And then we have prospects who are under the age of 50 who are uninsurable. HIV is a big one. AIDS, several situations, those diagnosed with cancers, and we can get a guaranteed issue for people under age 40, under the age of 50, with United Home Life and Great Western. United Home Life is extremely expensive. Great Westerns are second most competitive. And every situation from 50 to 80, Gerber's on top of the spreadsheets I've seen, with the exception of a United of Omaha product, which is sold only directly through United of Omaha. Customer needs to call in to United of Omaha. No agent is allowed to be in the process to get covered. These are unacceptable conditions for United of Omaha plan. The reason I'm including this is no matter who your client is, we want to always strive to try and get them a level death benefit from the get-go. Quote and apply is the easiest tool for using this. However, if they're diabetics diagnosed prior to age 50, United of Omaha will not accept it. They'll decline them. They won't even get a graded death benefit. Some of the other carriers, Transamerica and Foresters, will accept it, especially type 2 diabetics. Right? Amputation caused by disease, typically diabetes. That's going to be declined pretty much everywhere. Chronic or alcohol-related pancreatitis, that's going to be declined pretty much everywhere. Severe asthma, we have carriers that will take that outside of United of Omaha. Hodgkin's disease, usually going to be a decline. these medications for rheumatoid arthritis are usually going to be declined. Muscular dystrophy, sickle cell anemia usually would be declined. Pacemaker, we have carriers that look at pacemakers other outside of United of Omaha. If somebody has a defibrillator, obviously they're not getting coverage on anything but guaranteed issue. So basically, that's about it. It's the simplest product you can get. It's really easy to qualify for. I did want to go through something in 1 second. Let me get out of this. I mentioned earlier that when you're talking to your client, you can pre-qualify them by going through the health questions on the application. To get an application, you log in the Bosch, go to Forms and Applications, Annuity and Life PDF applications. You'll get the login automatically. We use our login. We provide this to you free of cost. You pick out your carrier, your service type, date. Product type is either going to be whole life or final expense, depending on the product. This one's probably going to be final expense. Where is it? Here. And this is Transamerica products called Solutions Final Expense. You get your package. You go to the application. And right here, during the last 3 months, have been treated for anemia, etc. Have been treated for heart disease. All this will help determine how you qualify for coverage. You want to ask your client questions.
Can you remind them about the just-in-time contracting?
Yes. With a few exceptions. There are going to be some exceptions in this field, right? United of Omaha is an exception. For a final expense plan, when you submit an application through Quote and Apply, you're going to get a little notification that your application is being paused because they need to confirm that you're not already contracted with United of Omaha to sell final expense. Foresters, you have to be pre-appointed before you take an application. Transamerica, you can take a paper application prior to be appointed. That's just in time. Great Western, you have to be pre-appointed. Gerber, you can take an application just in time. United of Omaha, we're going to get that message that it's paused to confirm that you're not already contracted with United of Omaha. We take care of that for you once you've completed your contracting steps on BOSS. Same with Foresters, Great Western, when you contract with them, we take care of it, but you're going to receive a link from Great Western to complete the contracting process. But I walk you through this as you go through it. That's my job. So if you have any questions, you call me. I want everybody to reach out to call me. These health questions that they ask, these are knockout questions. Have you been treated for alcohol abuse, everything? 0 to 2 years, you're going to be declined. You're not going to get a level death benefit. Have you used sedatives, amphetamines, barbiturates in the past 2 years? You're going to be declined. Have you been convicted or pleaded no contest to a felony in the past 3 years? You're going to be declined, right? They're going to ask you about heart disease, congenital heart failure, all these. These are not necessarily knockout questions. They help to determine whether or not you're going to receive a graded or level death benefit. Have you been treated for anemia, lower than normal numbers of red blood cells, and etc. That's going to pretty much put you in a graded death benefit situation. Have you used nicotine? That's just going to determine whether or not you're tobacco or non-tobacco. Do you do exercise? Yes, no. Yeah, honestly, that's not going to affect your decision, but they ask you on the application whether or not, because Transamerica will give you a preferred rate. They have preferred and standard for their level death benefit, which is unique in the marketplace. If you have somebody who's healthier, wants a real small death benefit, for whatever reason, perhaps they're 40 years old, can't go United of Omaha, we'll pivot towards Transamerica and they get that preferred rate and a pretty competitive rate. Want the Foresters application, same process, just change it to Foresters. Foresters is unique. They offer 3 levels of coverage. They offer graded level death benefit, graded and modified. They go down to a table 16. Makes them unique in the marketplace. Graded and modified are basically graded death benefits. No essentially no change there, but the rate for the modified is going to be higher than for the regular graded death benefit plan. Also, the death benefit will be lower for the modified. The max they'll go is $15,000. This one's really clear. If you can mark the first set of answers no, you're going to qualify for at least modified. Second set no, you're going to qualify for graded. Third set, you answer all these questions no, you're going to qualify for level death benefit. Rapid issue, like I mentioned earlier, they have some perks available to everybody who buys their policies because they can automatically become a member of the fraternal organization. They'll send their insureds out on trips. Here in California, twice a year, they send them to Six Flags Magic Mountain. We'll give them 4 passes to help promote Foresters. The grandchildren qualify for competitive scholarships. They get $2,000 a year for 4 years if they qualify for the scholarship. And nice part about that is about 50% of people who qualify for, 25% of people who qualify for the scholarships get the scholarship. So that offers a little bit of value to their product. Does anyone have any questions? Is everybody unmuted?
I am.
Yeah, all right.
Guys, if anybody has any questions, jump in. I got a couple comments, if that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, since we've been contracted with Back 9, I could tell everybody on the call so many advantages. Biggest advantage is having Todd as our rep. I mean, he will go out of his way to personally help you with any case, to train you in anything you need, life insurance in general, if you're new. If you're looking for an extreme variety of carriers under one roof, it's definitely Back 9. Quote and apply, extremely easy. Some of the things Todd mentioned on this call, if he mentioned in other calls, I guess I didn't pick it up, is the fact that just common sense thing. I mean, if a person has bad health and they need to get a guarantee issue, and they don't mind spending money instead of just maxing out at 25, you can stack a couple together. I never even thought about that. Diabetic, I can tell you this, Mutual is one of my favorite companies right away. You got a lot of extremely healthy people under age 50 that may have type 2 diabetes just kind of as a freaky thing, and they can't get that. Now we know that there are other carriers, and there's some good ones that he mentioned, United Home Life, Foresters, and some of these other ones. I've had experience with them, excellent companies. And then the simplified issue in general. I mean, instead of going fully underwritten, simplified issue, we get to know right away whether they qualify. We get paid quicker. The client gets a decision quicker. And one of the big advantages with the simplified issue, knowing whether or not they can qualify so quick, is we'll know if we need to pivot to a guarantee issue if they don't, versus waiting for an underwritten policy that might take 7, 8, 9 weeks. So just a lot of great information, and final expense. I'll say this, I really like Medicare, and whether you have a book of business or not, if you have a Medicare book of business, I would jump on and call those clients all right away and make sure they got final expense. If they do, ask them how long they've had it, how much they have, what kind they have, kind of pivot to them. And if you have final expense clients, you can do the total opposite. So you can work on your current book of business as a whole bunch of prospects right away. So so many good points Todd made. It's a year-round product. We don't have to wait for certain selling seasons. We have this available, excellent commissions. So just so many different advantages. So
Yeah.
anybody else, comments, thoughts, questions? Matter of fact, Todd, I got three
James T
cases
is
right
trying
now.
James T is trying to say something, but he can't unmute.
I know I was having trouble with that at the beginning.
I have trouble with Teams sometimes unmuting, especially on phone calls. Let's see.
Yeah, so
James, can you type your question in a box or?
yeah, we'll try to get this figured out, guys. Sorry about that, but I couldn't get my camera or my mute to work at the beginning.
Sometimes you click on the unmute and I'll click on it 5 or 6 times and it won't work. Yeah, I'm seeing if James has, well, let me unmute. No question yet.
So at first, try in the upper right hand, right by where it says leave, right next to that, there's a camera and a mic. Mine wasn't working, now it is. Maybe give that another shot. At the very top.
Kevin, one more thing. Gerber's guaranteed issue in many cases is less expensive than a graded death benefit with other carriers I mentioned.
Okay, so I'm glad
and United of Omaha.
So since you brought that up, I'm glad you said that, because if you look at the graded with United Healthcare, and I'm usually the biggest fan of United Healthcare, it takes 2 years to get any of it, and then year 3 you get part of it, and then year 4 you get the whole thing. So with a guarantee issue with Gerber, you get the whole thing after 2 years. So yeah, in those situations, you got to kind of look at and see what's better. I mean, in that case, you may want to go with Gerber because it doesn't take as long as get the whole thing. So I found that out by comparing the two. So yeah, I mean, that's just a great point. All these little nuggets help out.
Yeah. I mean, and I've very rarely found a underwritten graded death benefit that's more competitive than the Gerber.
So and you're right. If you compare premiums, it's, I mean, Gerber's right there with it, and you get the full coverage quicker. So yeah. So being on these calls, we'll have these calls every 2 weeks at 2 o'clock. I'll have Todd on as much as he wants. As you guys can tell, I mean, as much as I think I know, I learn stuff every single time. I would encourage you guys to get contracted with Back 9, because even if you have direct contracts with some carriers like Americo, for instance, or even Gerber or even Mutual, Back 9 opens up a lot of other opportunities if you have bigger cases for fully underwritten policies, or more options for guarantee issue in certain situations, or not. I don't mean just guarantee issue, like type 2 diabetes and stuff like that. So I would 100% encourage you guys to get contracted and appointed with Back 9. It's like our mini FMO under our FMO, and it just gives us a lot more ammunition when we're out there. If you're ever in need of information on a particular case, whether it's health, whether it's the size of the policy, whether it's whatever, Todd's always available. I can tell you, if you call him, he'll call you back pretty quick. If you email him, he calls you back. So just a lot of great information today. So I appreciate you being on.
And James had a question about commissions.
Yeah.
All right. As far as how much commissions you give up using Back 9, we're pretty much middle of the road in the commissions we pay. And it depends on the product, of course. Final expense, I know there's carriers out there that will, there are IMOs out there that do pay higher on some final expense plans. They don't offer you the quote and apply tool. They don't offer you BOSS. And there are some carriers that pay a lot less. So we're right in the middle of the road. Depends on the product. If you were to write an Allianz IUL, we pay very high commission on that because we do a lot of business with them. John Hancock, we're high. Prudential, United of Omaha, we're very competitive in those. If there's a carrier that we don't do as much business with, you won't get as high of a commission. United Home Life, full disclosure, we don't do much with them. Their strength would be on their, the fact that they offer a guaranteed issue product, but they're also they're the least competitive option we have. As far as being competitive, you have Gerber, Great Western, Transamerica, and United Home Life significantly higher priced. Transamerica, we're very
AIG also is AIG is pretty high too compared to the other ones.
Yeah, we stopped the AIG contract. We pulled out of that. And like I said, the only one I know of that's more competitive than Gerber is that United of Omaha product, which has to be direct to United of Omaha. We can't offer that. So that would be the one product I know of that's less expensive. I don't know about Colonial Penn. I haven't seen them come up on the spreadsheet being more competitive than Gerber in the instances I've run. And we don't offer them, of course, but yeah.
Todd, can you put that slide back on with the contact information? I think Betty is asking for it.
Yes.
With your contact information. Yeah.
Is it showing, I hope?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yep. My office line, 805-413-4302. Cell phone, 310-892-9073. And then you can email me at Todd at back9, BACK, the number 9, INS.com.
And I'll give a quick plug for our agent conference this summer. You'll be there again, right, Todd?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so in July, everyone on the call, hopefully you guys already have tickets to be there.
Yes.
That conference gets better every year. Todd will be there. And it really could. If you're new with North American, if you're new in the industry, we have so many great vendors. It's like a 2 or 3 day power-packed conference. That's a star in Dallas. You don't have to be a Cowboy fan to enjoy how great the area is. But if you haven't got tickets or you want information, get in touch with us. But you definitely want to attend that if possible. It can really be a career changer. It really, really could.
Wealth of information and networking, everything. It's just a wonderful event. Very well put together. Well,
Todd, again, thanks. Anytime you want to be on, well, again, we're not having these every 2 weeks, or excuse me, we are having them every 2 weeks, not every week. So I'll touch base with you. We set up again, and appreciate everyone being on the call. We had a lot of people on today, which is awesome. Anybody needs anything with help with cases, get in touch with me, Todd, Priscilla, Todd at the office, whoever. All right, everybody have a great day. Let's go sell some life insurance.
Thank you, everyone.